Can you move my camera? Can you just twist the head of it towards your right? Oh, other way. I'm sorry. No more. Yeah, I don't want to focus. It's just one thing after another. But anyway, we're recording too. We're going live. We're back in live. Let's wait for that Facebook page to load back up. That's the video we just did. There we are. All right. For some reason, my camera decided to go blurry on me, so give me a second. I know everybody's just dying to see me and my good looks. One thing after another. So, 2,000 houses you've sold, you say?
2,000, yeah.
Why are you sitting there with me? We'll wait for my wife to come back and text me. Get these off my head, and I'll figure out what's going on with my camera.
Okay. I can do a little jig if you want me to.
That's right. If you want to, just be careful of the table. It's just a... There we go. We're go ahead and talk to the crowd.
There we go.
All right, we're real time goofing off here with everybody. All right, appreciate you. Can I get a radio check? Make sure you can hear me. We had some mixer problems. It's actually a user level error.
Yeah, it's not the storm.
It's not the storm. It was me. You know, you don't plug something in, and even though you did a test, and even though your wife told you to do a double check. But anyway,
it happens.
We've gone through your biography. We've gone through your history.
Yeah.
Where I think we're at the point where we can talk about disc golf.
Okay.
What started the process for you to think about, let's get disc golf going on in Roubidoux Park?
Well, I'll just give you a little bit more history of like how I began playing disc golf, and that is in 2017. I mean, I've been an avid regular ball golfer for most of my life.
Right.
So the concept of it was pretty easy, but I met, I was at somebody's house, and I think one of her brothers was throwing Frisbees in his backyard, and he had a basket that he was throwing it into. And I was like, what is that? And he goes, it's called disc golf. And I said, oh, I've seen that on parks somewhere, some places. And he's like, you want to try it out? I said, sure, it can't be that hard. So I start putting, and it was a lot harder than I had figured.
I can see that you're not standing 2 feet away.
No, we were probably 30, 45 feet apart. But so he's like, hey, man, well, my buddies and I play, every weekend or whatever, you want to come play with me. So I come play.
Right.
And immediately it was like you getting a hole in one and finding an obsession. That was me.
Really?
My obsession began in 2017, and I went out and bought hundreds of dollars worth of discs. And I was, as I told you in my bio, I was out on the field or in a course almost every day. So once I started getting better, my son started getting interested. So my oldest son plays with me most of the time. So we started touring a little bit in Texas, not too much.
Mm-hmm.
But we started playing a couple tournaments, mostly just playing leagues and stuff around my house. Then we moved
waters and put those over there. I think my camera's trying to focus on them, not my beautiful face. Could be this here.
I see.
That piece of crap. That's why I need sponsors. I'm gonna move that or pull the camera towards me if you don't mind, or straight. It's because it's got to be irritating. I don't know why that's not working, but anyway, at least you're focused.
Okay. So anyway, I started playing a little bit more, and then we got orders to come to Fort Leonard Wood.
Right.
And I didn't play for a minute. It was kind of sad, actually, because I didn't know, like, there wasn't a community around this area.
Sure.
And so I started searching outside of our areas in Rolla and Lebanon and Springfield, and I played my first tournament in Lebanon in 2019, and that's where I found community. So I found my community in Lebanon, and started touring pretty heavily throughout Missouri and Springfield and down in Arkansas. And then my son really got involved that year. That was probably 2020, 2021 COVID era when things were bad.
Right.
So I think we did probably 20 different tournaments that year. Yeah, it was a lot, including some pro tour stops around wherever in Jordansboro, Arkansas, and up in Peoria, Illinois.
That's some mileage right there.
Yeah. So anyway, we got pretty heavily involved in there, and then one of the guys that runs the courses or runs the tournaments up there, his name's Russ, also known as the Disc Golf Monkey. You can find him on Facebook. Little shameless plug for him. He's the one that kind of got me involved with leagues and interested in designing golf courses and stuff. So when I got down here, I realized, like I said, I realized there wasn't really a community here in this area. We had to go outside, and my son and I were playing in Roubidoux Park one time, or one day we were just throwing discs at a basket that I brought out, and he's like, "Dad, I really wish there was a golf course here." I said, "Man, I really wish there was too." And then we saw that field that I have the course laid out in. He's like, "What about that place?" I said, "I mean, it looks like a golf course already." So
it's just sitting there waiting to be made.
Yeah, we wish the city would let us do that. That'd be really cool. And that kind of thought right there kind of lit the fire of me going forward with it. And so I had thought about it for weeks, probably a couple months, and then when things started slowing down in real estate for me a little bit, I kind of started thinking about other things I could do. So I joined the Chamber of Commerce. I started doing things that I could get into the community more, and like networking and just digging deep.
Sure.
And so that helped a lot. I started meeting a lot of business owners, a lot of politicians, a lot of city people, and getting to know them and learning more about how the city works and how I can involve myself. So that's kind of where the rubber met the road, per se. And one day I was sitting down with one of my mentors and good lender friend that I have. Her name's Karen Snyder. I was sitting there talking to her one day, and I was like, "Man, I really want to build a course here, but I just don't know how to move it." And she's like, "Well, have you raised money?" I said, "No." "Have you ever thought about it?" I said, "Well, I mean, obviously, yeah, but I just don't know how." Just door knocking, I guess.
Right.
And she goes, "Yeah, you need to go to businesses and ask them for money." I said, I'm just not that, I'm not that type of person.
That makes me queasy just thinking about it.
And she's like, "Well, you're a realtor. That's what you do for a living." I said, "I know that, but I don't like door knocking. I don't think anybody does, right?" But
maybe some. But
yeah, maybe some.
Yeah.
But she said, "Jason, if you want to get this done, you got to do it." Yeah. And I said, "You're right." And it was probably like a 2:00 afternoon. And I said, "You know what? I'm not going to go home until I get 18 holes sponsored."
Oh, so you did sponsor each hole?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I didn't think about that. I was going to ask you about that.
Yep. So I said, the best way that I can kind of, I don't want to say grab money, but the best way that I can get the whole course sponsored is just to do it by holes. And how that worked is, so Russ makes the baskets. He has a PDGA. PDGA is the Professional Disc Golf Association. It's approved by the PDGA for installation anywhere in the United States. So, but he has the patent for it. So he makes them handmade and all of galvanized steel and stuff like that. So he welds all of them together. It's his own design and everything like that. So they're called monkey traps. They're baskets.
Monkey trap.
Yep, that's what it is. And I mean, it's a love-hate relationship. There's so many disc golfers who are like, "I hate those things. I love those things." But anyway, he's the one that's providing those baskets.
Okay.
I mean, he's not providing them. We got to pay for them. But
sure.
I had to figure out a way to pay for them.
Sure.
And that's how I kind of built my sponsorship idea was, all right, each sponsor can pay for a basket, and then I'll
Right.
give them a sign on the T sign with their logo. So that's kind of
Sure.
each person has a place where they can see them.
So
And then
how many doors knocked?
so I went to, well, I got 18 holes sponsored in about 2 or 3 hours because I went home
Really?
at about 5:30 or 6 o'clock.
Wow.
Yeah, and I even got more than that. I think I had probably about 20 businesses that day
Really?
that had either committed or were interested in committing.
I'll be dang.
But I had hard commitments for 18 holes that day. So
Wow. Because on your Facebook page, and we'll put a link up to it on our site too. You got a whole list of sponsors.
I
Well, you
do.
got 18 at least.
Yeah, I have 20. I think it's 24 right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
And
About it.
that page that I designed or that I just put up a couple days ago, I had somebody call me this morning or last night that saw my page, and he texted me off to the side on a PM, and I said, give me a call because he was asking me about a sponsorship thing, and I was like, okay. Well, there's a financial YouTuber out
Sure.
there that I have no idea who he is.
Really?
That's a friend of his that wants to sponsor something, and I was
I'll
like,
be daggone.
well, geez, man, it's coming from everywhere. So I mean, it's a blessing, man. I'm really blessed with the community here is unreal, man. I just don't understand, and I've been on a couple. Well, I've been around a couple of the businesses around here, and you know, some would say they don't like it here,
Sure.
but I mean, the culture of our community is crazy.
Oh,
I've
yeah.
never been in a community like this where you can just say, I have a dream,
I said we want to
and
help
go,
you get there.
yeah, and go asking people, and they're like, oh, absolutely, no questions asked. They just say, here, I'll sponsor your holes, fine.
What a great story, because I can imagine how nervous it would be for me to go just thinking of the square, going business to business. Hey, I got this idea. Now you went segue. This should segue right now into how you got approval for it at the park.
Right.
How'd that go? I bet that would have had me stressing going through. Did you
Well,
go through the city?
Yes, I did. I went through Waynesville Parks, and then economic developer,
Sure.
Doug Potts, and how it originally started was I was at a chamber luncheon and had this idea, obviously, and I went to Mayor Sean Wilson and I said, "Hey, Mayor, I have an idea." He's like, "That's a really good idea." And I said, "So how do we go about doing this?"
Yeah.
We have to go through the Parks Board,
Sure.
and there's a long process that we have to go through to get this done. And I said, "Okay." So me being a former Army guy and
sure.
all this, I guess I don't want to toot my own horn, but like I developed a slideshow. I did a professional presentation for it. The idea was thrown out in August or September of last year at a one of the chamber luncheons, and then I went to the park board in November.
Okay.
So the first time I've been to the park board twice, but the first time I went,
it's only March. That's pretty fast.
it is pretty fast because Russ told me I had, he was like, I was like, man, I don't know how long this is going to take. What does it look like? I've never done this before.
Sure.
And he goes, man, when I was doing a couple of them, the ones I did, some of them took 5 years.
Wow.
And I was like, okay. He's like, just put it in your mind that it's
Right.
going to take a long, long time. And I said, and when you get rejected, it's okay. It's okay. Just keep fighting him. And but luckily that didn't happen. Luckily I had a really good support system here in Doug Potts in the city of Waynesville. So we partnered.
At least they can see you. At least they can hear us. So could you try pulling my camera near me to the edge of the table?
Yeah. Never had anybody do this. And then I found out that I don't know if you know who Luge Hardman is. She was the prior mayor back in I don't know what years, but there was a disc golf course put in Laughlin Park by the Boy Scouts, a little 9-holer.
Sure.
But the problem was it was vandalized and flooding kind of ruined everything, so the city pulled it out. And so there's that kind of lingering, mixed feelings about putting another one in the city.
We're going to pull it out again.
And so we had to go through the rigmarole of like, hey, what are we going to put in here? Is it going to be temporary? Is it going to be permanent? Is all this stuff that we had to go discuss in the Parks Board and then bring it to City Council. So the first design that I had was originally not where it is now. It was in the actual park. and it was all strung out through the whole
near the river. Okay.
in the where the soccer fields are on both sides.
Gotcha.
It was everywhere. And the city administrator, I got this perfect. It was, I don't know if God just, and I don't know if you guys are believers out there, but I mean, I just think that there was it was made for me, because first 4 or 5 holes. Yeah. But anyway, so we took that land. Well, I didn't take it, but the city graciously let me use it, and we are partnering with them to, start taking on design. And so I designed. Well, it's on my Facebook page, but the design is there. We've tweaked it a little bit. I now have an assistant.
Okay.
His name is John, that Russ kind of loaned to me. He's helping me out with a couple of designs, changes that we did actually Tuesday, because we walked the course and kind of made a little changes to some holes, but not huge holes, or not huge.
If you go down there right now, what are you going to see?
A bunch of little markings everywhere on the ground.
No golf course yet.
No. We took marking tape and lined out the tee pads where they're going to be, estimating there, and then kind of where the baskets are going to go. And we just took marking tape and shoved it into the ground, so you'll see little pink markings on the ground. And
well, I promised you some drone footage. When it's probably
that's
more complete,
be great.
See it. We'll go through it. So
it's going to be hard in the trees.
I've wrecked them before.
Okay, well, I don't know how big that thing is, but
that's tiny, but it's
okay.
Expensive.
We're not going to break ground as far as like demolishing and removing trees and stuff like that, probably till next week. I got to walk through with the parks guy and Doug tomorrow to get approval for them, to let me take some trees out and stuff. So
maybe this will help. I don't know. Well, as long as it keeps on going.
Look at that.
Now it's better. So thanks, Sean. Yeah, you're buttering up. I got you figured out. Future son-in-law.
Yeah.
But
the plan is get everything taken care of, and the goal is to have it open by the mid-June.
Oh, really?
Because even though I anticipated a little more work than what it's actually going to be, and then walking the course, I thought the wooded area behind the water facility was going to be a lot more dense than what it is. It's not actually that dense back there. So we're not going to have to do a whole bunch of work, but there's some work to do. Yeah. And we're going to have to get some heavy equipment for a couple things, but not too much.
What do you need? Who's listening?
Well, Sean's up there. He's going to help do some lawn mowing and some brush clearing and stuff like that. I've had Steve Bosk.
Okay.
Or Boet. I don't know how to say his name, but Boeski, or I'm screwing up his name, but he's a local construction guy around here. He's going to offer up his some of the excavation equipment.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It's really coming together.
Yep. And what else?
Well,
I got volunteers from private messaging me almost daily.
What about get your credit where you got it?
Yeah, and we really appreciate your help out there. So he's gonna do some landscaping and clear up some of the lines, and we'll have some fairways landscaping than like just tree removal. But
it's not like you got to do a real green. It doesn't have to be that.
No.
To make it look nice, though.
The biggest thing that is coming up.
We'll tag you when we get back in and edit this.
When I was going around looking for sponsors, I went to Lowe's. I was like, man, they got to help out somehow. I mean, they got to have some kind of thing. Yeah, they're it. And they actually, I found out they have a yearly community project fund or some kind of thing. They said every year they do a community project around here, and they donate to it. So what they're doing for us is they're donating all the materials.
Really?
So for the tee pads, originally we are going to do pavers in a 4x8, tee pad.
Tee pad being the
where you launch the disc at.
It's like
it's a 4 foot by 8 foot like piece of.
Okay.
Now it's not going to be cement or pavers. Now it's going to be turf on a platform.
Okay.
Because the city won't. They don't want it to be in cement or anything like that. So we're doing turf on a wood platform that's going to be kind of dug into the ground a
Mhm.
little bit, and then that's what we're doing. But they went from pavers to cement, and then I've talked to the managers over there, and they're like, yeah, we'll do that.
Really?
They'll do everything. So they're offering up all the materials to do that, and she said, hey, let me know when you want to do it. Give me dates, and I will offer up some of my employees
Really?
to help you install things. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is
They went
crazy.
the red vest, and
It's
just
nuts.
swarming around the project.
It's crazy. And I mean, no, a lot of the guys over there and girls that work over there at Lowe's
Yeah.
are all veterans,
Oh,
or most
sure.
of them are. But so it's awesome that we get to have that community bond, and
What a great good news story.
such a great story. Yeah.
Because
And
you get on there and you see the vitriolic. I always want to throw that word in there about the comments. People hate this community. You're not looking. You're looking in the wrong direction, because every time I
Yeah.
talk to somebody,
mhm,
there's some good going on, and that's awesome. Especially from a big corporation.
yeah,
Some people don't realize it's made up of people that live right next door.
right.
And so that's really good news.
Yep. So that's the plan.
That's
I am looking at mid-June, and then the biggest thing that I want to tell everybody is, keep watching my page.
Mm-hmm.
I'm kind of horrible with taking pictures, especially when I'm in the moment. Like the other day when we were marking things, I didn't think about taking more pictures, even though I told people I was going to.
I promise to help out. So
But
I'm going to donate some time and some technology.
I appreciate
No
that.
worries.
And but keep watching, keep following along. We're gonna have day by day or week by week, updates on how the course is coming along and how it's looking. I'm not gonna reveal everything at once because I have some surprises in the course that I want people to wait for. Some design surprises, so I'm excited about those, and I will reveal those at the opening. So mid-June, when we have everything done and I'm ready to let people in,
Okay.
I'm gonna do a kind of a grand opening
Sure.
day where all the sponsors in the city and anybody that wants to come out can come out and kind of tour the course and look at it and see what we got going on, and then hopefully that will start the fire
Oh,
of
sure.
everybody saying, oh my God, did you see what's going on in Waynesville? Have you seen the course?
Oh, I
And
know it.
and the word of mouth will.
Now, let me
Spread.
get into the rules a little bit for someone that hadn't played.
Okay.
Free,
Huh.
or is there a fee?
There is no, everything is free for disc golf.
Just
At least
other than
the
your
only
frisbee.
thing that you got to pay for is a bag or your disc that you got to
Okay.
throw.
So it's not like a golf course. You free, but
Yep, you
courtesy with your other players.
No paying.
Okay.
Now, we are starting up a disc golf club
Okay.
for Waynesville, and if you want to join that, it's free to join, but you will probably have to pay some fees and
Sure.
stuff like that. We're going to use that as kind of our maintenance fund to maintain, or if we want to add things to the course like bridges or whatever.
Go into that maintenance thing, because I think that's
Mhm.
important to hear about. Who's going to maintain this?
So I have a resolution with the city,
Mhm.
contractual agreement with them of designations of who does what. So the city will maintain their part of the park that they
Sure.
maintain normally, and then after that it's all on me and
Okay.
the volunteers that come help me out. So course maintenance, daily or weekly or monthly. There'll be some things that if trees fall down, we got to take the trees
Sure.
out, or just trimming limbs and stuff on a normal monthly or bi-monthly basis or whatever it is. That'll be on me and the volunteers and whoever's in the disc golf club. Usually that's how it's going to come.
I can see a live episode down on site with a golf tournament, a disc golf.
Oh yeah, well, that's my vision, is to try to get Russ to include us in his yearly tour.
Sure.
Yeah, so he has a tour that I don't know how many spots he goes to. It's probably over 20.
Really?
Yeah. And it's mostly up in Springfield, but he has some in Lebanon, a couple in Joplin, down in Arkansas, and I'm really just
Sure. Going up the I-44 corridor.
give me that. Give me some of that.
Just stop right on
Yeah,
by.
give me some of that, because I want what I really want is to get all, Rolla has a community of disc golfers.
Sure.
Lebanon has a community of disc golfers, and there, surprisingly enough, Waynesville has and St. Robert has Fort Leonard Wood area has a community of disc golfers. Just everybody goes to those other places because there's nothing here.
I'm not surprised.
Yeah.
Because the only course that I know is on post. I don't even know if it's well used or if it's even in existence anymore.
No, it's there.
Collier Park.
Yep, Collier Park, and then there's also Hannah Hills out in Lakeway off of NN. That Vic, he's the owner of the land. It's a private course, but it's on private land, but it's open to the public.
Okay.
Russ actually has a tournament at that course.
Does he really?
Oh yeah, it's a beautiful course. It's really well done, and actually John, my assistant designer, helped design that course as well. So when I found out that I could use John on this course, I was ecstatic because I was like, man, that course is amazing. And
Really?
and he's like, and John and I were walking the course the other day. He goes, yeah, dude, because I was trying to explain to him like how we were gonna get all this stuff out of here, and he's like, dude, when I did Hannah Hills, I did it all by hand.
Really?
I was taking trees out, and if you've never been up there,
No.
some of these hills are pretty legit. Yeah. They're legit because it's on a hill, and I was like, man, that's crazy because I'm talking like big trees. He's taking out there, cutting them by chainsaw, and just taking logs and throwing them over the fence. So,
wow.
Yeah. But Hannah Hills is amazing. That's the only golf course that within, the next 15 miles. Cause I did my homework when I was doing this whole thing, and I was like trying to convince Waynesville City to she's asking me, hey, well, don't we have a course in Lakeway? I was like, yeah, but that's not Waynesville, St. Robert.
Right.
No. And then from where are you coming from? And a lot of Springfield people, a lot of Lakeway people, Lebanon, Rolla, wherever, Columbia, they come from everywhere.
Wow.
And I said, I need that in Waynesville. Yeah. We need that in Waynesville because
we got the space for it, and it's just a matter of doing it.
Well, yeah, and it's going to help the community immensely, not just the golf course, but economically.
Oh, sure.
It's going to bring money to the tables and in the restaurants local. It's going to bring business, and the hotels if they stay. So, yeah, tournaments. We'll have some local tournaments. If I can't get Russ to get me on the schedule, soon this year, next year, whatever, I'm hoping that he'll open it up eventually. But even then, we'll run local tournaments, and John is also a tournament director, so he helps run tournaments. So we got it all set up. We just got to get everything in motion and done. So.
Well, definitely keep us in mind when you're ready to light the fires and ready to go. I'd like to come down there. We'll do an interview and walk the course, maybe some drone footage from somebody and really show off what we've been doing and how it's going to benefit.
Yeah, I'm excited.
That's awesome. Well, I want to thank you again for coming down and being on the show.
I really appreciate it.
We're in St. Robert. Did you consider having it in St. Robert? I was going to ask you that. Well,
I did a lot of. I actually considered the municipal golf course. Talking to the city of St. Robert to see if that was a capability because it's already set up. It's a little par 3 course over there. And all
that's
that.
Where I got my hole in one.
Yeah, is it?
Yeah, that's right. It's still it's par 3, but it's a hole in one.
Yeah. Well, any hole in one is a hole in one. I've never had a hole in one. I've come literally this close, but never had it. Same thing with disc golf. I've never had a disc golf hole in one either. Come this close, but
there are some incredible videos on the social media of how they throw it sideways, zing it off the ground, bounce off the tree, and chink, right? Yep. You hear the chain, and they'll go across. I seen a video the other night. That was like the hardest hole to hit, and it was like out to the lake, and this wind's coming by. It's only like 10 feet, and just just shoot off into the nether world. The disc, and nobody ever could hit it. So, but once again, thanks for coming by.
Absolutely,
we're gonna link up and give you some drone footage, some photography shots. If you speak to your gentleman out in Lakeway, I wouldn't mind doing some footage of his existing course.
At Lake in Hannah Hills?
Yeah, and to do the drone footage, and that would be awesome stuff. And for those that are listening, got 2 on YouTube and 5 on Facebook. I know I can't see who you are, but if you got any questions for Jason, the number at the bottom of the screen is our cell phone right here, and you're welcome to call it. Ask any questions, and we're going to stay online for the next couple minutes, see if anybody wants to chit-chat. Otherwise, Jason's going to start dancing on the table. I'm going to throw dollar bills.
Well, I forgot to answer your question earlier
sure.
while we're waiting on if we have any questions, but you asked me about how disc golf works.
Oh yeah, yes, please.
So if for anybody that hasn't played disc golf, or even if you played ball golf, it's set up the same as basically ball golf, except you throw a frisbee. So pars are pars.
Oh yeah, that's what I figured. Yeah.
There's a par for every hole, and it's set up basically off of distance and how the hole is set up. So,
No golf cart.
no golf carts. Most of the time you're walking. Now we have carry carts and
Sure,
pull carts and stuff like that. We walk around, but usually the terrain prevents from using golf carts.
Yeah, because it can be.
Yeah.
It's not like a golf course where you have smooth greens and everything. It can be rocky as.
And if you ever go out to Hannah Hills and you do your video out there, you'll understand. So, yeah. But yeah, it's played. So basically, there's a tee box, and depends on the course, but professionals, they use a 6x13
right
run up tee box, and then there's a basket, however many feet. So disc golf is not in yards, it's in feet or meters. If you're in Europe, it's in meters, but here in America we use feet. So it's all in feet here. So most average amateur, depending on your skill level, you're looking at 400 feet of distance.
That's pretty good.
It's pretty good. It's about a football field.
Yeah.
So, and the holes that here in Waynesville that we're building in the woods, it's going to be pretty technical. But I told John, I said, look, man, I don't want to make this a pro course. I want to make it so that kids can play. Because the other thing that I forgot to mention is this was part of the deal.
Mm-hmm.
But the reason why I'm doing this is I'm trying to build a next generation of disc golfers.
Sure.
So those are the kids that we have in the community at churches, schools. So I've talked to a couple of the sports directors at the schools and to see if we can get after school programs or maybe even into the PE system or, some kind of disc golf team or whatever.
Of all the activities.
Yeah, and that's really all you need to come out, and your parents will be more than happy to. And parents can walk with their kids and play.
Exactly.
And so it's kind of a bonding experience with education.
And you get some exercise,
time,
get out in the nature a little bit.
Yeah. So
get some of that good vibes into feeling. So assuming there's no calls, we're going to close it up here. Jason, thanks so much again.
Doug, I really appreciate you having me on here. And whenever people watch this, thank you for watching. And then to the businesses and my sponsors. I can't. I don't have the list with me. I'm not going to name them, but thank you very much to the city of Waynesville. Thank you for partnering with me, and for everybody else that's out there volunteering and offering help. I really appreciate it, and keep on bringing it on because this is going to be a big undertaking in a couple weeks. So
that's awesome. Well,
thank you.
Shout out to all the sponsors for my show, especially Prue Law down in Waynesville is our gold sponsor. We got a whole bunch of them on the next screen. I'm going to transition to that. My executive producer couldn't be with us today because she was just kind of in the way. So we're going to transition to that. But once again, thanks again.
Thank you.